Hi everyone, welcome back to the next diecast. In today's video I'll be opening up, repairing, and reviewing these two friction trucks that I got from eBay. I got both of these trucks in total for about $20, including shipping and everything. As you can see, this one is a Chevrolet Suburban, and this one is a Chevrolet Silverado. And I say repair because you can see that this one ended up unfortunately getting damaged in shipment. These were actually shipped in one of those like just white plastic bags, not really any protection inside the bag. These were sealed in their blisters. I say were because when I took them out of the packaging, the blisters just peeled right off. So they were essentially already opened while they were being shipped, I guess, because I guess they got shaken around and stuff, and then the blisters broke away from the cardboard. I'm not too annoyed though because these were cheap. These friction toys aren't made to be very like durable, unfortunately. But I'm annoyed in that I have to somehow fix this Silverado here. Unfortunately, I think just the back corner got a little bit damaged. Everything else on it looks fine. The Suburban looks like it's not really damaged, so I'm just gonna pull off. Yeah, this just came right off. Just pull off the blister. I don't know who manufactured these. The only information is pretty much on the cards. They're friction powered, and then it's Chevrolet SUVs and Chevrolet trucks. These are licensed by General Motors apparently, which I was kind of surprised to see. These are the item numbers, made in China. Yeah, I tried Googling the item number. I tried Googling, Chevrolet Silverado friction trucks, Chevrolet Suburban friction trucks, friction vehicles, just different variations of the same phrase or phrases. And I couldn't find any information on these, which I thought was quite odd. These definitely are, cheaper quality items. Perhaps they were sold somewhere at like Walmart or even like, Dollar General or somewhere at one point. I have no idea. I hope eventually I'll find some information out about these. But they are apparently 1/24th scale. I say apparently because they might be a little bit off scale, like 1/27th-ish scale thereabouts. But I thought these were kind of cool. I got them for $20 in total after shipping and tax and everything, which I thought was a decent deal. I'm guessing when these were out, maybe in like the early 2000s, they probably would have retailed for, I don't know, maybe like $5 a piece or something, if that. But I like to collect interesting, model vehicles like these, and I do collect friction vehicles on occasion as well. So that's why I ended up buying these. But it's unfortunate that the Silverado ended up not arriving in good shape from shipment. Oh, okay, so that's where this piece goes, I guess. It looks like this broke apart enough where it's going to be in just a few bigger chunks, and I can just glue it back together without it being too noticeable. But I guess we'll find out. But in the meantime, the Suburban looked okay, so I did take off this thing. Here's the Suburban. You see it's red, kind of tacky with all those stickers on there and everything. And those white wheels. These do have rubber tires. I'll give them credit for that. Just have the painted on bow tie in the front there. Chevy Suburban on the windshield. These are all just stickers. I may end up removing these at some point, but I don't want them to be hard to put back on or anything, or leave any kind of a residue. So I might keep them on. It does have kind of a nice charm to it, I guess. But no interior or anything. It is a friction toy, but it is red, as you can see here. Red plastic. They do at least paint the roof rack on there. Then you have the stickers for badges in the back here, Chevrolet Suburban, and these white plastic wheels. All right, so the friction motor on this one does work, it seems like. Well, there, that's better. But I will, of course, test out both of these on the floor later on once I perhaps get the Silverado fixed up. But here's the Suburban. Let's see, anything on the base? 2000 Chevrolet Suburban, used under license, made in China. Yeah, that's all the information on here. There's no brand name or anything, which I think is very weird. So I don't know what it is I even got, basically. Really weird. But, very toyish, but they're meant to be toys. There really aren't that many, bigger scale models of Chevy Suburbans out there, especially from this generation, the 2000 through 2006 models. So I was happy to find it for that reason. And I don't really have any bigger scale Chevy Silverado models. It's just unfortunate that this one had to come broken. But we'll try to fix it. Get this thing out of the way. I'm guessing this one should just, yeah, here's another piece here. So here's two big plastic pieces that broke off. And then maybe, yeah, this just peels off like that. Don't even have to use two hands apparently. Or maybe I do for a second. There we go. Alright. It was like little, I don't even know what those fragments are of plastic. But here's the truck. Oh, look at that. The motor still works. Did this get like bent or something? Man. Alright, I'll probably end up having to take this thing apart or something to fix the, yeah, something else just fell out. Man. Alright. Oh, one of the mirrors came off too. Look at that. There's a big gash in the side. Okay, so that's in there. Alright, so it looks like, yeah, that's the mirror, I think. Or no, that's not the mirror. I don't know what that piece is. That sucks. Oh well. Oops. There's two more pieces in there. Let's get these out. Wow. I'm not gonna bother, you know, messaging the seller about this. I mean, accidents happen. They probably could have packed it better, yeah, but I mean, they're cheap. It's so weird. Look at that wheel. Oh, that stinks. The whole back end, but yeah, I'll see if I can attempt to fix this thing. At least maybe like bend the wheel back or something, but here's what I got going on here. These pieces, and then we got this bent wheel in the back. So I guess I'll fix it up and I'll try to show you the I guess in the meantime, you know, here's the silver Chevy Silverado. You got the bow tie badge in the front there, painted on headlights and taillights. And the Silverado tacky looking stickers on the sides. Crooked badging back here. You got Chevrolet and then Silverado. Interesting. I hear a loose piece in there. So, you know, I think I am going to take this thing apart. I'm going to attempt to fix whatever happened back here. So that's kind of unfortunate, but we'll see if I can fix it. All right, well, I did what I could to fix this damage on this Silverado. You can see there is still a visible crack here, but when you look at it from the side like this, it's really not as visible. I basically just ended up using some white glue and a couple of Sharpies. I was able to literally piece together everything that broke back here, including part of the base. As you can see right there, I did actually take apart the truck. Basically, it was just the base, but I couldn't figure out what the loose piece was inside of it. You can kind of hear it a little bit in there. I don't know if it's like part of the friction motor, which still works perfectly fine, by the way, as you can see here. And as far as the wheel goes, I was able to bend it back in place using a vise. I didn't get it completely straight, but it's definitely less visibly warped compared to when it was initially removed from that packaging. So, I mean, from a distance, especially from like this angle here, you can't tell that there was anything ever wrong with this vehicle. And as far as the back bumper goes, there was a pretty big chunk that was left out of it, and I couldn't find where it went. So I ended up actually using white glue as kind of like a body filler sort of deal. And you really can't tell all that much that I ended up doing that, because I was able to actually color in the area with a black Sharpie. And same thing, from a distance, you can't tell that anything was ever amiss back here, I guess we'll say. There are actually two clips that hold the base to the body. The bumper is molded into the body on this truck. So that's pretty much how I was able to fix this. So not perfect, but definitely better than having, you know, big chunks missing and everything like that. There's a couple of other things I want to do, like maybe touch this up back here with some silver Sharpie in this area here. I think this was already on the truck as like a factory defect. It wasn't part of the damage that this endured. And there's a bit of, you know, paint rubbing off on this roof here. Just a tiny little like streak, as you can see right there. But again, these are cheap, you know, friction toys. And once again, the Suburban did not really have any problems with it at all in terms of damage and everything. Kind of a little bit of a scuff there on this door, but very, very minor. and like once again, I can't tell who actually manufactured these friction toys, but I thought they were pretty cool because, like I said, you don't really see too many models out there of this generation Suburban or this generation Silverado in this scale. I know Maisto made a 127 scale Silverado, but that wasn't 124th scale. These are true 124th scale, from what I can tell. So that is cool to see that. I do kind of think of the Road Rippers brand. That was like an RC brand from like the 2000s. I think they were around maybe until like the early 2010s or something. I'm not totally sure, but they had kind of a similar deal where they had, you know, just plastic toy models of various vehicles, and they would have, you know, kind of these sticker or, you know, decals on the sides, and they would have the names of the vehicles on the windshields as stickers as well. And also New Bright RC, that comes to mind as well. So I don't know if maybe, well, then again, if one of them had manufactured these, I would have seen their brand name on the packaging. I really don't know. All I know is I spent $20 in total on two very interesting friction toys of a truck and an SUV that I don't have any larger scale models of, but now I do. So I'm definitely happy about that. And again, you know, in terms of quality and everything, not the best, but who knows how much these were sold for new. They're made to be primarily, you know, friction toys that kids would get to, you know, race across the floor essentially. So they just wanted to make, you know, fun toys out of these, not really, you know, well-detailed replicas. But I do like collecting friction vehicles on occasion, and I especially like collecting interesting models that I can't really find that much information about because it adds a little bit of, I guess, interest to my collection, along with my YouTube channel for sure. So if you can find these for a good price, I would say, you know, go ahead and get them. I haven't really seen any listings at all for these, aside from the listing, of course, that I bought these from eBay. So, and I probably wouldn't pay much more than like, you know, 20 some dollars for these, considering, and you probably won't deal with the damage that I dealt with. That was just an unfortunate mishap in my case. But, you know, these are just friction toys. There's no interiors or anything, no opening features. They're just plastic models and not a whole lot of detail. But they're definitely interesting, I would say, for sure. And because they're friction toys, I will obviously end off the video by testing out the friction functions. So we'll go ahead and do that next. All right, we'll finish off by testing out these two friction trucks. We'll start with the Silverado, and we'll see if my repair that I did to it actually held up, I guess we'll say. Again, I don't know what that loose piece in there is. I tried looking for it like twice, but anyway, let's give it a little go. There it goes. I guess I didn't really push it hard enough, but that was a pretty decent amount of distance there, I guess. We'll try the Suburban next. A little bit farther. You could kind of see when this was rolling that it was wobbling a bit because the wheel isn't totally straight. So this, I guess, would have gone a little bit farther had the axle actually been fully straightened. But I did what I could with that vise. I didn't want to, like, you know, bend it so much that the wheel would just break off. But yeah, we'll try one more time maybe. These are actually pretty loud in terms of, I mean, friction cars are always kind of loud, but these are a little bit louder than I thought they would be too. But again, I didn't buy these to, you know, play with them. I just bought them because I thought they were cool. I'll probably put them up on the shelf or something at some point or another. But we'll give each one more go. Pretty much stopped in the same spot. Oh wait, maybe it went a little bit farther. I went past that door a slight bit. I'll do this Suburban one more time. Oh, whoops. Oh well, probably didn't do anything. At least my repair actually held up well on this from, you know, that little bit of play just now. But yeah, as you can see, these would make for some fun toys as well if you can actually find them. Again, not really sure how I managed to find these, and I'm not really sure who actually made these things, or if they have any connection with, you know, any RC brands like Road Rippers or New Bright or anything like that, because sometimes friction car brands such as Braha, they come to mind. They will make the same plastic vehicles as both remote control vehicles and friction vehicles. So kind of an interesting thing to think about. But all in all, I would say if you can find these for a decent price like I did, yours probably won't come broken like my Silverado did. I'd say definitely get them if you're a fan of just collecting friction cars in general, or if you're looking for just, you know, a fun toy of some sorts to give to a kid maybe, or if you like to, you know, collect these friction toys yourself, or if you like collecting models of Chevy trucks, like in my case, Chevy trucks and SUVs. I think these are interesting models to look for and get. So yeah, feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on these two models here, whether or not you might have seen these before, or if you happen to own them yourself as well. I'd be curious to find out about that. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.